As a woman with dwarfism, my experience of nightlife is horrific. Not just from the built environment perspective, but also from society's mindset and experiences when they are in those places. I am often the butt of the joke, if not worse, put in harm's way. What we know as regards to the data in terms of the social impact around nightlife is that there is much work to be done, not just in the built environment, but also in the mindset and the capacity to create radical welcomes for disabled people. Almost 60% of disabled people could not access or had difficulty accessing pubs, restaurants, bars, and cafes in the UK. And more than 40% of disabled people could not access or had difficulty accessing clubs and music venues in the UK. So here's some homework. This weekend, when you're going out for dinner and making a reservation, ask the space if it's accessible. Watch them panic. And then when they say yes, ask for more information. Because usually what you hear is, it's only a small step. It doesn't matter how small it is. Or the accessible bathroom is where they store the mop bucket or an employee's bike, because there's nobody in the room. So to try to challenge some of these data points, we created a project in partnership with Smirnoff. But prior to doing so, we did our own data and research. I wish there were more events that are designed for people like me, disabled people being the first thought and not the afterthought. So in terms of the We Do Us campaign, forgive me, I'm not a designer. I could feel the judgment. Does she not know what a PNG is? I do. I'll talk to Adobe outside, okay? Here's some things that we put in place as a baseline, regardless of who we knew, whether or not they were in the room. BSL interpreters, both hearing and deaf interpreters, because ensuring that you have deaf representation in interpretation is vitally important to ensure that in terms of economics, there is investment going back into the deaf community, but also similarly that hearing and deaf interpreters interpret BSL differently. Headphones, for those who are neurodivergent, or anybody who feels oversensitized. A viewing platform that wasn't at the back with no view, but really fundamental to the entire space. Quiet rooms, but making sure that, for example, within the quiet rooms there was comfortable furniture, there was no fragrance, taking out diffusers, having low lighting that could be customized and low sound, having braille menus available as standard and also large print menus, having subpacks for deaf audiences so that when they wear them it vibrates with the beat of the music, and also an adaptive bar that came at 2 levels, but also ensuring that every single person in that space was trained to ensure that they understood that it was their role and their labor to step forward, rather than always putting the emotional and physical labor on disabled people to look for access. We also did an amazing thing by creating an accessible DJ booth, which was one of the things that I was really proud of, that allowed Lou Brew to DJ at the same deck as Mel C. That idea that access can be for everyone. Even putting together a floor plan of thinking about the different types of access. And what I will say on the night was it didn't work for everybody, but through human skill, we tried to find different solutions. Somebody said it was such an amazing night, everything from the staff to the entertainment to the access was off the scale brilliant. It was truly wonderful to see inclusion being witnessed both on stage and on the dance floor. For me, what was a real success was disabled people showing up fully as themselves and having a great time, where often they feel observed in public spaces.